Good morning, everyone. I want to welcome you all to the Animas County Board of County Commissioners regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, October 15, 2024. It is now 9 a.m. Calling this meeting to order. Please rise for an invocation by Commissioner Luis Lopez, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Tony Haas.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to join with you today. Please give us the guidance to make good decisions based upon the community that we represent. And Lord, please keep our children safe in our communities as we head into homecoming weeks for the surrounding school districts. In your heavenly name, Lord, we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioners. Roll call, Mr. Dorrington.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Here.
Commissioner Hess.
Here.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Here, approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda, Mr. Dorrington?
No changes, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez.
Yes. We don't have any meeting minutes, so now we're going to go to the reading of correspondence. Commissioner Luis Lopez, would you like to go first?
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning. On the third Front Range Passenger Rail Finance Committee convened to discuss our ongoing financial situation, and we are presenting the board this Thursday and Friday in Denver with those findings. Sometimes it was tough decisions have to be made when your monies are not being allocated. The Senate Bill 184 was thought to have some funding available for a front range. It turns out it's not going to be as lucrative as we were hoping for. So in the meantime, we have to make some very conservative cuts to make sure we have the viability of the board moving forward for the 25 and 26 fiscal years. And so that's what we're doing, and we'll be making those tough decisions coming up this Thursday and Friday, or presenting that to the board for their final consideration in November for the annual budget review. On the fourth CCI convened our legislative group, and there was a lot of bills that were being discussed. I was able to give testimony once again on our our transportation planning region bill that's going to be carried by our Representative Winter. And we did gain the support from the CCI board as a tier 2. So we do have it as a priority bill as a tier 2. That's how the process will work. So we'll move forward with that legislation. The hope and prayers is that if this is moving forward, that the Transportation Commission will remove any boundary changes, and then we can continue to move forward to secure that would never happen, in my opinion, for keeping our voice for this community and giving Summit County their recognized voice at the State Transportation Advisory Commission. On the 8th, we met in here with Fort Carson regarding our Pinon Canyon issues. Unfortunately, this was intended to have the City of Trinidad participate in this issue regarding our pipeline request removal funding mechanism, however you want to look at it. So we did have Representative Lamborn's on the phone in Washington, D.C., stating that they had some funding to assist with this possibly. I asked if we had a concession plan for when our Mr. Lamborn is no longer in office next year, and then that wasn't conveyed thoroughly. So it's still kind of up in the air, but unfortunately the City of Trinidad didn't post the meeting and they weren't able to join with us, other than the mayor and the Councilwoman Ogletree was with us that day. So again, another mishap, I guess, on behalf of the City of Trinidad. We really wanted to have this work session with them to get the support and possibly move forward for our white paper, which we've been working on for the past year. And I think the meeting was somewhat successful to get the mayor of Trinidad and one council member the information. Hopefully they take that information back to City Council and we move forward. On the 10th, Canada Renewal Authority convened. We also are in the budget mode right now as well, and we have some nice funding numbers that have come in at the tune of $50-some thousand, $54,000 and change for our coffers, which has been one of the best years for our tax increment funding for the urban renewal, and we also have a grant that was secured, so we can go in with the city of Trinidad in supplying a executive assistant to the board, moving forward, administrative assistant to the board, so we can have some sort of assistance to Chairman Grego. We've not had a executive director for urban renewal in the past 5 years, and this grant will hopefully be able to have that administrative assistant work with the planning office with Mr. Nick Mason, and we'll have someone to help us, assist us with getting, prepping the meetings and doing some outgoing research and legwork in the community for upcoming projects with urban renewal. So that was nice to hear. We'll be having a future meeting inviting our county treasurer, Mrs. Leonetti, to come and have some discussion. So if Donna, you're on the call, I haven't got that phone call yet, they will be reaching out to you to come to a presentation, urban renewal, regarding some of the blighted homes and how the process works to nullify any of the back taxes owed on those properties so the city can help move forward. And then again, like I said, Thursday I'll be in Denver and Friday for Front Range Rail for our workshop for the next 2 days. And like I mentioned in my invocation, good luck to all of the children of our community this week. It is Pony Farmer Homecoming Week, and I'm a proud dad of a senior cheerleader, and look forward to seeing the activities and festivities this coming weekend. So that's my report.
Thank you, sir, Commissioner. Commissioner Haas.
And as Commissioner Lopez stated, the commissioners were present at the CCI Legislative Committee hearings. We met and took positions on county-introduced legislation, and we had to narrow the scope from 40-plus legislative possibilities to 8 requested by staff. We couldn't get it to 8. We settled on 10 priorities at the Tier 1 level and 5 at the Tier 2 level. Topics included from Tier 1, ag land, URAs, sentencing for child prostitution, the child trafficking problem, courthouse funding, water sampling, county lodge tax, EV charging stations, property tax proceedings, and of course our TPR designation. Grant County also brought forth a letter of opposition letter to address any additional wolf release until CPW addresses the detrimental issues with the current program. It was adopted by CCI as a whole body unanimously. October 5th, I had the distinct honor of serving on the Service Academy Nomination Committee. 8 highly qualified individuals were interviewed, and how refreshing it is to know that there are young people out there with the love of country and willing to protect and serve. It was really heartfelt to be able to listen to those individuals talk about their love of country. On the 8th, we had the Army work session talking about Union Canyon and the pipeline. October 10th, the Environmental Impact Assistance Fund Committee met to ratify the Cycle 2411, the Tier 1 funding application. A total of 66 applications were received. $25 million was available for funding. $5 million for Tier 1 and $20 million for Tier 2. Also, an additional $20 million was budgeted for more housing now, and $10 million for addressing the climate resilience challenge initiatives. And our next Tier 1 and Tier 2, and I believe Los Angeles County will have a Tier 2 application. The round will be held October 28th through the 30th, and that's my report, sir.
Thank you, sir. We'll be probably traveling to Yuma County.
Ray, Colorado.
That's where you guys are going to be meeting, so I believe we have one presentation. So without being repetitive, one of the meetings we had yesterday with Colorado Counties Inc. to go over the assessment and fee structure for public lands. Los Animas County is a host of several thousands of acres that are publicly government-owned, and because of that, we get an opportunity to participate and work with CCI so they can work at the national level on how to maintain those properties. One of the questions that came up yesterday when it comes to natural resources coming out of the public lands and who manages those and how do counties get informed that even a NEPA investigative report is 100% completed. So it's a pretty robust conversation, and for us, as being part of CCI, we do pay a fraction of representative services through CCI for us to get all the information when it comes to those kinds of things. One of the more salient points is what happens if there's a fire within public lands. Who responds? What is the structure? And small counties, I think from if that were to happen, there is already a chain of communication. If a fire were to happen, Piñon Canyon and all the other fire districts respond. So I think we don't need to reinvent the wheel. I didn't make any comments on that because I believe fire chiefs know best and EMTs know best. So, but as we go through the conversations, one of the very important things is to be certain that we are good neighbors with those entities. We have Piñon Canyon, we have a lot of the national public lands. How do we manage those in partnership with the county and all the services that we have that we offer from the county? One of the more big points right now is on these public lands is going to be water. And what happened, and Commissioner Haas serves on the waters of the United States. So those conversations and questions will be addressed as we go forward. What happens when water begins in a public land and going to a private property? Can the private property owner use it? Well, there is a lot of redefinition of those things, but that was, without repeating a lot of the meetings that we've been to, that's going to be my report. And so certainly, once again, I want to just put it out there that on Los Animas County, we have a link to CCI and all the legislation that is being introduced and that will be introduced that's going to be impacting counties in some way, shape, or another. So you can go to our website and find that information, how to look at what's happening at the state legislative session or what's happening specifically with our county. So thank you. On this note, I'm going to now go to elected officials update. Sheriff, since you're present.
I don't have anything today.
Thank you, sir. Let me call on our county assessor, mentioned that she was going to be doing something else. Anyone from clerk and recorder? Treasurer? District attorney? Coroner? Hearing none, we're going to go to the next section, section 5, presentations. We have one listed here, Mr. Dornicam. You received communication from Mr. Harold Unwin. Is he?
He was scheduled to present today, yes, sir, but I'm not sure, maybe.
We don't have Mr. Unwin online. My only question would be to council. I don't think we could, in the event that he were to show up retroactively, give him the opportunity. Council, I think that's a question of a yes or no.
Correct. You would have to reschedule.
Thank you, ma'am. Let me make one last call on this particular one. Under presentations, we have Mr. Harold Unwin, retention pond removal.
And he was told 9:15?
He was instructed that the meeting would begin at 9 o'clock, or excuse me, email.
We're going to move on then to a public comment. Do we have anybody signed up for public comment, Mr. Dorncamp?
No one signed up, Commissioner.
And at this time, I'd like to also ask anyone online that would be interested in addressing these Board of County Commissioners, please unmute yourself or simply raise your hand and you will have 3 minutes. Hearing none, let me make an announcement at this time. We're gonna go to, we're gonna have a public hearing at 10 a.m. Regardless of where we are on the agenda items on this meeting, we will stop that meeting to enter into the public hearing that has been published and scheduled. So on that, we're gonna go to section 9, new business. 9A, consideration of cost allocation grant contract. Mr. Dorncamp.
Commission before you is consideration of allocation, grant contract allocation. And I believe this is something that Finance Director Christie Colbert can add.
So this is the grant that we received for Department of Human Services, the indirect cost. Yeah, and this company does the grant, application for us.
That's the 5,000 and change.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. I was trying to get past the
We
presentation.
have had, this is, I believe it covers 2025 and 26.
This one, correct.
Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Yes.
Commissioners, any questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve cost allocations grant contract.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. Going to go to 9B, consideration of retail liquor license renewal for Romero Liquors. Let me ask the question. Council, any concerns, any questions from your perspective on this application?
No, Commissioner, I reviewed it, I have no concerns.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioners, any questions on this particular application? I didn't hear any questions. I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the retail liquor license renewal for Romero's Liquors.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. 9C, consideration of third quarter public trustee report. Pretty self-explanatory, unless we have somebody from the trustee's office. Any questions, commissioners? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the third quarter public trustee report.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. 9D, consideration of courthouse county court upgrade. Trinidad Construction Group, change order number 3. Mr. Burlington.
Commission, before you for your consideration is change order number 3 on the judge's bench project. It was an oversight of low voltage terminals and data, additional data cabling that the state needed to make a better layout for the audio visual, so that's what's in front of you for your consideration.
And I don't want to get ahead of myself. This is Commissioner Luis Lopez's question, but
We need the funding for it.
There is, Commission, we've got a fairly healthy fund, our balance between what was awarded to us and what we've spent today.
I have another follow-up question.
Here's my, but is every time we do a change order, the county's obligated for a 9% match.
9%, that is our portion.
All we,
We didn't budget for that, but
Christie had budgeted for the entire, what we projected the cost,
Yes.
so we still have those funds available also.
So that's my follow-up question would be is this going to be the final and last change order? This is number 3 so far. Do we have any expectations to have any more?
There's at least one more lingering out there. And it's for 11 grand and change. But it won't be with Trinidad Construction, it will be with Miller. Because they're needing to move one of these cabinets from where it's at to a different location.
And we have to match that 9%, Kristen?
we do. But I think with Elizabeth underfunded, they're making sure that the funding is there, their portion of it. Right, Bill? Is that
Yeah,
what you said
they-
the other day? Yeah. Because there's additional funding with these other 2 grants as well. I think we're working on that, correct? To see what to do with additional, the other funding.
Yeah, they're looking at possibly using the HVAC funding, by what I'm reading in the emails, to pay for the movement of the cabinet. But
That's a big process. relocate the electric cabinet after all the infrastructure has been done.
Yeah, and the milling, I mean, the original, and getting way off in the weeds here because it hasn't come from the board yet, but milling is working to try and get that potential upcoming change order reduced by quite a bit. Matter of fact, they dropped their fees and their overheads.
What's the purpose for relocation?
It was originally designed to sit right behind where the jury sits. So moves the jury out a foot and a half, I don't remember what the dimensions were, which puts it right up next to where the judge is. And court executive Elizabeth Romanowski, who does court layouts, says that won't work. Because the jury is to be away from the judge as much as possible, so.
But that's still forthcoming right now.
It's forthcoming, what's in front of you right now is this
Very good.
low voltage terminal.
So roughly $270 is what the county will be incurring as far as indirect expense. Yep. So,
Okay.
any other questions related to this particular line item? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I share Commissioner Lopez's concern. I hate these, but move to approve the courthouse's county court upgrade to internet construction group change order number 3.
Second motion?
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes. 9E, consideration of GM financial lease purchase agreement for patrol vehicles. Good morning, Sheriff.
Commissioners? I had sent a copy of the contract to which we were supposed to get for the new patrol vehicles from GM. That will pay for 5 over a 4-year period. And I think if you don't approve that today, they'll have to do another one. So I did send that to Ms. Nelson, and she did review it.
Thank you, Sheriff. Please stand by. Council, having reviewed the agreement item contract, do you have any questions, concerns?
I have reviewed, I have no legal questions or concerns.
Thank you, ma'am. I am going to yield the floor to Commissioner Luis Lopez. I know
Of course.
questions he's going to ask.
Ms. Coberly, do we have the funding in, Sheriff never had the funding in his budget for this program?
So not for this year, but I think this takes effect for 2025 because we don't have 112 for this year, correct?
I had the 120 set for in the budget this year for those cars. I just had it come in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
we
this-
had it set.
So you still have that, so the
Yeah, I have
first
it
payment of
set.
112 will come
Yes.
from 2024.
Yeah,
and
we
all
had
that
that.
for future.
We had that set aside for vehicles.
Okay, yeah. I'll go with them.
And what's the delivery time for your vehicles, Sheriff? Does it look, I mean, the reason I asked, we've had a hard time getting them.
I've received 2 of the trucks and already one of the Tahoes have been received, so I need 2 more, but they're sending them as soon as they make them.
And the other vehicles that are going to be auctioned, or how do we handle
I
this?
will probably keep the 2020 Interceptors on the back side for extra cars for trips, and if these go down, we'll keep those for a little bit. They're still probably not great for patrol, but they can be used for other things.
So will you have to incur the cost to upgrade all of these vehicles as well, or will you use the equipment you have in the current ones?
No, that came with
That's
the
the
whole
only
package when we purchased from John Hoy Chevy. That came with the upfits. It was all one package.
And there are Chevy Tahoes, correct?
We got 1 Tahoe and 4 Silverado pickups. We're gonna try trucks and see how they handle roads and the hills here.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, a little higher clearance, there's more rocks, and those Interceptors are really low to the ground, so they're more for the street. So I'm gonna try something different. And at the time, that's all we could really get because of the shortage of vehicles that is going on across the country. There's lucky to pick those up. I got them through John Elway Chevy in Denver, so she was able to buy them.
You know, the Chevy guy, I feel they're a better quality vehicle overall, so I think you have to be a little better.
We have 2 Tahoes on the road, 2023s, and they've done really well so far.
I have no further questions.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner
I have
Ramos.
a question.
When he does the budget is with them, just to tell you.
Thank you.
And I believe we'd have to sign, the commissioner will have to sign one for that contract, and if I get that, I'll get it to him for the 18th, and we'll have to review it.
Mr. Dorian.
Just out of curiosity, what's the price difference between the Tahoes and the pickups?
Wasn't much difference. There were around 40, I was getting them for 45,000 plus the upfit, so it was around 80 total for each car. But when we added that fifth one, I was able to add a fifth one, it just came across and they asked if the line, and I checked to make sure it would fall within our budget. That brought it up, so the cost for the 4 originally would have been around 80 a year, so that's 45 to 40 for the pickup, and then like another 40 for the outfit, all the equipment in it.
I think
Mr. Dorian and Sheriff, thank you. I'm gonna, for future perhaps, and I don't know, I'm just simply speaking out loud here, thinking out loud, National Association of Counties may have, and I have no idea that they do, but they may have a purchasing agreement at the national level for law enforcement. It might not be a bad idea to look into that. I'll make a couple of phone calls to see if, a few years back you had looked into enterprise and other possibilities, but I think as the expense continues to, the affordability of the vehicles, just keeps increasing, we need to be looking for if there are any opportunities to save it.
We had tried with Enterprise, but they needed more vehicles.
Sure.
They wanted to get the whole county on board, and I think it was decided that the county didn't need the access. They didn't need, they'd have so many vehicles, non-emergent vehicles, and plus ours, I think that's.
In order to make the package.
Yeah, we tried that several months ago or a year ago, and it just wasn't going to work on that end.
Thank you, sir.
And I just want to make a comment about the source of funding, the 120,000 the sheriff is referring to is available because of the citizens of the county trusting the county, what was it, in 2020, 2022, to allow us to spend those excess monies, and we set aside 120,000 for vehicle purchases within the sheriff's department.
Yes.
So that's where that funding is coming from.
Thank you, sir.
So again, I want to thank the citizens.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
Before we make the motion, just for transparency reasons, the grant total on this is $112,000 repayment annually at a total of $448,474.52. Which is for 5 vehicles. I think the sheriff's done his due diligence in outfitting these vehicles. We have such a vast, large county, and without public safety, having vehicles that are dependable to get to those folks that live out in our outlying areas is very imperative. Make sure they have that safety mechanism in place. So.
And I had researched buying just maybe 1 or 2, but it would have been past probably 130,000 just for 2 regular purchases and upbids. So I think it's a better way to spend the funding.
Right, and like Mr. Dorenkamp said, we are in a way better spot than we were 8 years ago. I remember your fleet was pretty much little to nothing at that time. So thank the taxpayers of Los Animas County for allowing us to have these funding mechanisms in place.
And again, I believe that as the old fleet exits, you'll recover some of those funds.
Yeah, I could get some from auction. I don't know. I got several that I think will just be scraps from older cars. I'll have to get all those together in paperwork. I will keep some of the 2020s though for extras.
Sure.
And while you have, we still have CTSI available to us, and turnover in employment and stuff like that. Make sure that we can utilize the services they offer with the driver safety trainings and all those types of things to protect the integrity of these new vehicles to be great.
Yeah, we take a class. I haven't had one. They used to come down and give us those classes all the time.
Commissioner Hassett on the executive board. He can assist you with that.
If you would like that, I'll put a bug in there.
Yeah, they've come down in the past and given us the courses. I would probably need that.
Okay.
Thank you, Sheriff. Any other questions, commissioners? If not, I'll entertain the motion.
Well, that's it. I'll make a motion to approve GM financial lease purchase agreement for patrol vehicles.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes, thank you, Sheriff. 9F, consideration of RETAC grant application. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, commissioners and staff. How are we doing?
Fine, how are you?
Oh, what a peaceful day.
Oh, man, you're happy today, I like that.
I got a lot of good things going on. So in front of you, you have consideration for RETAC grant. This is RETAC funds that we get every year in the amount of $15,000. This year, because Kim, we do, Trinidad Ambulance District will pay for the full amount of the physician advisor funds that we pay for each year for his direction. So we'll pay for that for the whole county, including Kim. And then Nikki had some other things that she wanted to go for. So we're only asking for $10,000 of the $15,000 to go to that medical direction. And then Nikki will have funds to utilize what she needs to utilize out of Kim. So we've been working together for the last several years doing that. And I think it's just a lot better for the whole county as a whole. So a lot of other good things going on. I recently am certified as a community paramedic, and as of today, we have 5 other paramedics that are going to be taking the class for a community paramedic. So we'll be moving forward on that, and hopefully bringing a lot more, not only behavioral health, but other services that we can provide to the community and the county as a whole. So we're continuing to do that. Chief Moreno and I will be at the Financial Summit the end of this week in Colorado Springs, and then followed up by the state conference, which we're taking at least 3 of our employees each year. Now we started that last year, and so we can get them out. We continue to stay on the level at the state level, as both Chief Moreno and myself are on the advocacy committee for the upcoming legislation, which is looking kind of grim from after talking to Representative Winter, but we'll do what we can to make sure that our county has a voice.
So thank you so much. When you mentioned behavioral health, we had a meeting with Commissioner BHA Commissioner Danette Smith, and so if you have an opportunity to run into her, she knows Felix Lopez. I've been asking her to send some of the dollars that are being appropriated through the BHA to rural Colorado. And so basically, perhaps in partnership, you might be able to apply for one of the grants that they have, so you can provide higher behavioral health services and access for our local community. And one of the things that the conversation has been surrounding the ag community, and that is near and dear to all of us here in San Luis County. So from that, if you happen to run into her, tell her commissioners from San Luis County said hello, and she'll know exactly what we're talking about. Because to us, one of the most important things is you all know what's happening. And even with this RETAC grant, it is a huge, huge help for the entire county, but for those outlying areas that otherwise wouldn't have any accessibility to dollars and services. So thank you and congratulations on the work that you're all doing. And from that perspective, I'm going to continue. I'm part of the behavioral health conversation group and have been for the last 2-3 years, and will continue to do that simply because we don't want those FTEs concentrated in Denver or Colorado Springs. We want those services actually to be made available to us here in San Luis County.
Well, unfortunately, we know the healthcare system is broken. The behavioral health system is a dumpster fire. So everything we can do, and the other thing is that we find is the behavioral health side of things has the money that's can come that way. So those resources, I'm great hopeful that will be coming our way soon. Now, how it looks for us and how we proceed, there's basically 3 main districts in Colorado that are using the community paramedic model, which is Eagle County Paramedics, Delta County Ambulance Service and UPass Regional Health Service District. All of them are using theirs a little bit differently depending on what their needs are. UPass is almost 90-some% is mental health. Delta County is more driven towards readmissions, and they've worked with their local insurance company to help fund a lot of what they do, so they do a little bit differently. Eagle County deals with a lot of low income because of the resorts and those type of things, so they do a lot more with A to Z family type follow-ups and those type of things. So there's a number of things that we can bring to the table and bring those resources. As you all know, our funding is not getting any more, and it's definitely costing us more to proceed and to bring us services. So we're definitely dedicated to the county and making sure that we can bring those to Los Angeles County.
Are you offering any influence our students from that are going through this?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. So we along with Trinidad Fire, Mount San Rafael Hospital, we do the EMT basic clinicals, which I think we have 2 on the calendar this month. As well as we also entertain PCC and other paramedic programs besides what we do for ourselves. We've taken the stance to grow our own paramedics, and right now we're at about, I believe, 6 or 7 that we've put through school, and they're really working out for us.
On the grant question I have for you, so Kim will be applying separately, or this will be included in the grant?
They'll be applying separately.
So will they have to come and
They will have to come and see you.
before the board? Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that for the record. And then also, regarding your other information you have with the behavioral health, have you guys secured a provider to help assist in that program moving forward, or how's that looking at this?
So we are just getting started in that. So one of the things that we're going to have to secure is telehealth for both mental health. And there's been a bunch of changes at the federal level and the state level as far as the regions. We went from 7 to down to 4. We're now with Rocky Mountain Health Group, which is kind of the south and western part of the county or state. So all of that is just getting started. We're not exactly sure exactly what it's going to look like, but I will tell you that there's going to be a lot more potential for a lot more services that we can
All
offer.
right, and I think we discussed it in the past that there might be a process to come before the county commissioners based upon your special district taxing measure that you had. I don't know if that mechanism still needs to be accomplished.
The Health Service District?
Yeah.
We're in process of working on that. We did receive our KISS license, so we're on process of doing that. So at some point we'll come and see you.
Great. Thank you.
One of the, probably the most important things that you're doing right now, and you're going above and beyond, because it takes a lot of work to be an advocate and to be up there at the Capitol and to fight for those bills that you want to go through or not go through. And thank you for doing that, because that's really important. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. I'm glad you're there.
And one other thing, Commissioners, I'd like to cordially invite you to, we have our new facility. We've been in it since about mid-July. We are going to be having an open house for not only the public, but also the kids to do something for Halloween. So if I can, I'd like to hand out some flyers. I'd love to see all of you there, see what we have, see what we've done. We've made plans for the future, and I think that's going to be a facility that's going to help us out through many years to come.
And I know you had an open house earlier, and it was actually, I showed up, but you guys had an emergency call just down the street at the roundhouse.
We did.
Yeah. And I didn't get to do that tour, so look forward to this one.
We might dress up like commissioners that day.
So, guys, I just want you to know that, throughout, public services is a calling, and we have a lot of dedicated folks. And I believe that not only our medicine, but everything that we're trying to do for our county and our visitors of our county is working out. So if you guys ever have any questions or anything, please feel free. And we'll keep doing and keep up the good fight.
And I think that invitation is mutual as well. If you have any questions for us, you're more than welcome at any time, be it you're on the agenda or not. We appreciate the communication. So any additional information or questions, commissioners? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve the RETAC grant application.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
Likewise. 9G, consideration of enlarged south side ditch proxy, Mr. Dorncamp.
Commissioner, before you, just for your consideration, exactly as you stated, it's an large south side, which company properties.
Who have we listed before?
We haven't, I think Commissioner Luis Lopez generally just went to those meetings and represented the county, but I thought
I don't think it was ever,
the process would be to put it in the board.
yeah, we've never formally did that. And with it leased out there, usually the property,
Let's see.
the LACC has been attending those meetings as well to make sure that that is there. But I'll be glad to attend on the 9th. Let me make sure my calendar. Yeah, I'm available to attend on the 9th for that meeting, if you want, so wish to appoint me for this year, but you'll need to remember to
Change.
change it next year. Unless we want to have, one of our county staff.
I have to go anyway.
So why don't we,
There you go. Okay.
I can help you out there.
I like
Thank you,
to,
because I have hunters that weekend.
Okay.
so if I were in concurrence, I would like to then, I think that was, would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Tony Hess to the enlarged Southside ditch proxy.
Second the motion?
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess, you want to abstain?
Abstain. 9H, consideration of resolution 24-034, opposition to proposition 127, prohibit bobcat, lynx, and mountain lion hunting. Mr. Dorncamp.
Commissioner, before you for your consideration is resolution 24034, opposition to Prop 127, prohibition of hunting bobcat, lynx, and mountain lion.
Commissioners, do we have any questions before Mr. Dorncamp reads the proposition?
No questions, but I'd like to make a comment. Lynx are already prohibited from any takings, and in my opinion, leave CPW the experts to do the science-based management that is already successful in all game management. Ballot box biology doesn't work, as we are all witnesses of with the wolf reintroduction.
If I may add to that
Yes,
comment, by opposing this proposition, I think what we're trying to do is secure the longevity of our public hunting for our mule deer and elk populations alike. Without control of this predator, we're going to see a decline over the years to come. And a lot of our businesses in this county depend on those availability of game to be successful in this community. And it touches so many different perspectives and people, from the restaurants and the hotels that are coming in, and including our airport, which are receiving in hunters now. If we allow this to happen and this passes, I think Colorado is going to be in a large decline of wild game population and particularly millions of dollars that will be coming into the state of Colorado. So with that, I would agree to opposing Proposition 127 as well.
Yes, thank you. And before you read the resolution, Mr. Camp, one personal comment is, there is a reason why statutorily CPW was established to manage and work with the hunting community of Colorado and our state. So for that reason, we do not need special interest groups telling Coloradans what to do. I think CPW has the science, they have the management, and they have the historical data to support that indeed they know how to do their job. We don't want to give, later on, we'll come up with, if this were to pass, we're going to come up with a whole different division of feel-good kind of thing agency to start providing the services that CPW does, from my perspective, so well. So leave it alone. If it isn't broken, let's not find a solution for something that doesn't need to be solved. So with that, Mr. Camp, would you please read the resolution?
The Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, resolution opposing the passage of Proposition 127, Resolution 24-034. Whereas the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado recognizes the importance of sound wildlife management practices, utilizing all available tools, including hunting and maintaining ecological balance, particularly in the management of mountain lions, lynx, and bobcats. Whereas Proposition 127 seeks to ban the hunting of mountain lions, lynx, and bobcats in Colorado, thereby limiting the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Grant CPW imprint ability to use one of the most effective tools available to manage wildlife populations and to mitigate human and wildlife conflicts. Whereas the scientific community and wildlife management professionals recognize that regulated hunting is a critical method of controlling predatory populations, which helps reduce livestock depredation, safeguard public safety, and preserve a balance between predator and prey species. Whereas hunting of these species is currently managed under strict regulations set forth by CPW, utilizing North American model of wildlife conservation that ensures sustainability and prevents overharvesting while taking into account ecological conditions and population health. Whereas CPW estimates the passage of Prop 127 would result in an annual loss of about $410,000 from licenses sales. Additional studies predict a reduction in mule deer and elk population, leading to a $5.8 million decline in license revenue from these sources, and as much as a $61.65 million loss in economic activity from hunting. And whereas Proposition 127 does not adequately consider the negative consequences and risks harming the long-term health of both wildlife populations and human communities in Colorado. Now therefore, be resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, that we hereby oppose Colorado Proposition 127 and urge voters to reject this measure to preserve effective, science-based wildlife management in our state. We have further resolved that the Board of County Commissioners encourage our residents to be informed on the importance of wildlife management and the role that responsible regulated hunting plays in maintaining the ecological balance, economic impact, and safety in our communities. On motion made to second affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 15th day of October 2024. By order of the Board of County Commissioners of San Luis County, Colorado, followed by your signature lines.
Yes, sincere apologies. I don't think we went with a motion, but do we have a motion on the table to approve the resolution?
No.
If there is any more discussion on that or any edits on this particular resolution, commissioners, please at this time. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution as read.
Move to approve Resolution 24-034, opposition to Proposition 127. Prohibit bobcat, lynx, and mountain lion.
Second motion.
Commissioner Luis Lopez?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez?
Yes. 9I, consideration of the resolution 24-034, opposition to Proposition 131, establishing all candidate primary and run voice choice voting general elections. Mr. Dorncamp.
Commissioner, for your consideration, Resolution 24-035, opposition to Proposition 131, which is the establishment of an all-candidate primary and ranked choice voting in general elections.
Commissioners, any discussion? Wanted to just highlight a couple of things. This has been tried in other states, and those states are going back to the traditional election ballot. They are going back to what works. This particular one, to me, is not fair, clear, and concise. So for that perspective, I believe that the opposition that is coming on my personal opinion would be that it wouldn't be any fair election, especially in states where one party dominates the other. So from that perspective, Commissioners, any additional comments?
Yeah, I would like to say that this would be very burdensome to Los Animas County and our current budget the way it is. We're already dealing with the unfunded mandates that are coming to our county. And this would actually make the clerk initiate two different systems for the election. So we wouldn't just have one election, we'd have to have another separate one.
I concur, gentlemen. This, at first glance, it seems like it might be something that would be liked in the state of Colorado. However, if you get into the weeds regarding the mechanism in place, it's not going to be fair to folks that have been dedicated to one party or the other, whether it be Democrat or Republican, and it makes way of a slippery slope moving forward. There's a system in place for a reason. It has checks and balances, and I would oppose this as well.
Mr. Dorncamp, would you please read the resolution?
The Board of County Commissioners of Los Angeles County, Colorado, resolution opposing the passage of Proposition 131, Resolution 24-035, whereas Colorado Proposition 131 proposes to establish a system of ranked choice voting, RCV in general elections, and implement an all-candidate primary system for state and federal offices, allowing all candidates, regardless of party affiliation, to run in a single primary with the top candidates advancing to the general election. Whereas this proposal would drastically and significantly change the way candidates are nominated and elected in Colorado state office elections, I've been discarding time-honored, historically successful process used since the establishment of our state 148 years ago. Whereas the success of our time-honored electoral process is offering opportunity, choice, and clear decisiveness stands in stark contrast to the wide-open processes used in other nations, which often results in a fractured governing coalition. Fractured governing coalitions must resolve at the slightest conflict. Whereas this proposal would also significantly complicate both the manner in which citizens vote and in which these votes are processed and counted, leading to voter confusion, disenfranchisement, a much greater public cost, a greater likelihood of delay, error, and mischief. Whereas the aspect of this proposal known as ranked choice voting appears to seriously run afoul of the vital and hollow constitutional concept of one person, one vote by permitting certain persons' votes to be counted more than once. Whereas this proposal, by virtue of guaranteeing more than two candidates in most or all state office elections, not only lends to a lack of decisiveness, but a greater likelihood that the most popular candidates will not prevail, contravening the will of the electorate and severely undermining public confidence in our electoral process. Whereas the board takes notice that a significant number of citizens of the state of Alaska originally adopted an electoral concept and process quite similar to Prop 131, and have seen fit to seek its rescission by placing an initiative on the state's ballot to abandon open primaries and ranked choice voting, and return to the traditional election process. And whereas the Los Angeles County Board of County Commissioners is committed to ensuring the integrity, accessibility, and efficiency of our election system, any changes that complicate these principles should be considered with extreme caution. Now therefore be resolved by the Board of County Commission, Los Angeles County, Colorado, that the board hereby opposes the passage of Proposition 131 and urges their citizens to vote against this ballot measure at the general election, citing concerns over its potential negative impacts on voter participation, the increased complexity of voting process, potential cost to taxpayers, and the logistical burden on election officials. On a motion made and seconded, affirmative vote, this resolution was adopted this 15th day of October 2024 by the Board of County Commissioners in Los Angeles County, Colorado, followed by your signature.
Thank you, sir. Any conversation in the recommendations on the proposition as read? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve Resolution 24-035, opposition to Proposition 131, establishing all candidate primary and ranked choice voting general elections.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes, at this time, I think I'm going to call for a small recess. We have 5 minutes before the public hearing agenda.
Motion. So moved.
Second the motion.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Felix Lopez.
Yes.